You're ambitious. You work hard. So why do you still feel like you're running in place? You're trading late nights and mental exhaustion for a progress bar that never seems to move. Because you've been taught to mistake activity for accomplishment. The truth is, the most successful people are secretly the laziest. They practice what looks like laziness but is actually precision. This is strategic laziness, not avoidance of work, but the elimination of wasted effort. The 80-20 paradox reveals that most of what you do yields minimal results. Today, you'll learn how to cut that wasted 80% while keeping 100% of your outcomes. But to do that, you first have to accept a hard truth. Most of what you're doing right now is a spectacular waste of time. Here is the universal law that proves it. The 80-20 rule, your new life philosophy. Most productivity efforts fail because they focus on doing more, not doing less of the wrong things. The Pareto principle isn't just a business concept, it's a universal law that governs your life. Roughly 80% of your outcomes come from just 20% of your actions. This means the majority of your effort is spectacularly inefficient. The ambitious but strategically lazy person doesn't try to optimize everything. They ruthlessly identify their high-impact 20% and eliminate the rest. Think about your work last week. Which activities actually moved the needle? For a salesperson, it's following up with qualified leads, not organizing their CRM. For a creator, it's producing content, not endlessly tweaking their website layout. I've seen creators spend 10 hours redesigning a logo that brought 0 new subscribers, while a 2-hour focus on crafting a powerful title and thumbnail drove 10,000 views. Society celebrates task completion over actual impact, training us to feel accomplished after clearing an inbox rather than after achieving meaningful progress. We've all been there, spending an entire afternoon organizing digital files only to realize we never look at 90% of them again. That's busy work in disguise. That's the trap. You're optimizing for busyness instead of effectiveness. Take a moment to think. What is your 80% waste? Hold that thought because eliminating it only solves half the problem. Look, I know this sounds harsh, but if you're still here, you know it's true. Now let's talk about the silent killer that sabotages even the right 20%. When you apply the 80-20 rule consistently, you experience a profound shift. You'll accomplish more with less effort and wonder why you ever tolerated low-impact tasks. Think about your most productive day ever. It likely involved deep focus on 1 or 2 important tasks, not checking off 20 minor ones. That's the 80-20 rule in action. The key is doubling down on what works and systematically removing everything else. This creates space for what truly matters. Decision fatigue silently sabotages even the most well-intentioned productivity systems. Your brain has a limited cognitive budget each day, and most people exhaust it on trivial choices before reaching their important work. This is why productivity hacks often fail. They add complexity instead of reducing cognitive load. The strategically lazy approach recognizes that willpower is a finite resource. You can't rely on discipline alone. Instead, you need to design your life to preserve mental energy for high-leverage thinking. This leads directly to the next principle: decision minimization. When you stop wasting energy on trivial choices, you unlock capacity for creative work and strategic decisions that actually matter. Decision minimization, preserving mental energy. Every decision you make drains your mental energy, from what to wear to what to eat for lunch. Decision fatigue is the silent productivity killer that leaves you mentally exhausted even if you haven't done physically demanding work. Research shows willpower depletes throughout the day like a muscle. This is why you might start the day with brilliant ideas, but struggle to make strategic decisions about your most important projects by afternoon. By late afternoon, you're mentally drained, struggling to decide what to eat for dinner, let alone make a high-stakes choice about your career or goals. The ambitious but lazy person creates frameworks that eliminate thousands of minor decisions. Start by establishing personal policies for recurring situations. Decide once that you don't take meetings before 11 a.m. Create a default work uniform so you don't waste brain power each morning. Steve Jobs didn't wear the same black turtleneck every day because he lacked style. It was a strategic decision to eliminate a trivial choice and preserve mental energy for billion-dollar problems. Set up automated meal plans or simplify your grocery choices. Each decision you eliminate preserves mental energy for what truly matters. This isn't about restriction, it's about creating cognitive space for high-value thinking. Your best mental performance should be directed toward your most important work, not spent on trivial daily negotiations. But how do you actually implement this? It starts with your surroundings. Your environment will always beat your willpower, so stop trying to be disciplined and start designing a world where the right choices are the easy ones. Want to focus better? Put your phone in another room instead of relying on willpower to ignore it. Need to exercise more? Sleep in your workout clothes with your shoes by the door. By reducing friction for important tasks and increasing friction for distractions, you create systems that pull you toward your goals automatically. Most people celebrate those with strong willpower, but the truth is, they've just designed better systems that require less willpower in the first place. Think about how much easier it is to avoid junk food when it's not in your house versus when it's sitting on your counter. That's environment design at work. I once tried to break my social media habit through sheer willpower. 2 hours later, I found myself mindlessly scrolling Instagram while literally reading a book about how to stop using social media. That's when I realized willpower is just a really expensive way to fail with extra steps. When you minimize decisions through smart defaults and environmental cues, you maintain peak mental performance throughout the day instead of starting strong and finishing weak. The real power comes when you combine decision minimization with the 80-20 rule. You preserve mental energy while focusing only on high-impact activities. This creates a compounding effect where you achieve more with less effort and less stress. But to truly scale this approach, you need to leverage the ultimate tool for the strategically lazy: automation. Systems that work while you sleep are the final piece of the puzzle, transforming effort into lasting results. Strategic automation, the ultimate leverage. Strategic automation is where effort compounds permanently. This is doing work once that delivers value forever. It's the ultimate leverage tool for the ambitious but lazy person. You multiply your effectiveness exponentially by building systems that operate independently of your constant attention. Start by identifying recurring tasks in your work and life. Create templates for common emails and documents. Use scheduling tools for social media and communications. Set up automatic bill payments and financial transfers. Build checklists and standard operating procedures for repeated processes. Each automation frees mental bandwidth for higher value activities. The initial time investment pays dividends indefinitely. You stop being a human robot, repeating the same steps every week, and start becoming a system architect. A 1-hour investment to set up automatic bill payments and savings transfers eliminates 12 hours of monthly stress and decision-making over the course of a year. Most people waste countless hours repeating the same tasks with slight variations, when setting up a system once could eliminate that work forever. Stop and imagine this. Waking up next month, and that one task you dread is just gone. That's the power we're unlocking. Our education system teaches manual execution rather than the meta skill of building automated systems. Remember that feeling when you finally set up a system that handled a recurring task without your involvement? That mixture of relief and pride is addictive. By embracing automation, you break free from the time for money trap. You create assets that work for you 24/7, allowing you to achieve more while doing less active work. This is how the strategically lazy consistently outperform the merely hardworking. The initial effort to build a system is a one-time investment, while a job requires continuous effort every day. Building systems versus chasing goals. Goals are for direction. Systems are for progress. If you want to achieve something once, set a goal. If you want to achieve something forever, build a system. Goals exist in the future and provide no guidance for the present moment. Systems operate in the present and continuously move you forward. The ambitious but lazy focus on developing processes that make success inevitable, rather than chasing outcomes that create constant pressure. Don't set a goal to write a book. Create a system where you write 500 words daily. Don't aim to get in shape. Design a system that gets you to the gym 3 times weekly without fail. The key is removing decision-making from the equation and focusing on the process, not the outcome. Systems succeed where willpower fails. Most New Year's resolutions fail by February because they're goals without systems, destinations without vehicles to get there. Conclusion: and CTA. Strategic laziness isn't about doing less work. It's about doing less of the wrong work. You now have the blueprint. Apply the 80-20 rule to eliminate wasted effort, minimize decisions to preserve mental energy, automate recurring tasks for permanent leverage, and find the minimum effective dose for maximum results. Implement one principle today. Identify your highest impact activity and eliminate one low-value task.